Alright, guys. It's been a couple of weeks, so I guess I'll do another Miitopia episode. Oh crap, my mic! Stay put. I do have a couple of things I kind of want to talk about, so yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you, okay, yeah. You guys should be able to hear me alright. My mic/aux is giving good sound waves, so. Alright. Yeah, I don't really have like one main topic to talk about, so I'm probably just going to talk about a mixture of topics. Oh yeah. One thing I will start with. I guess we'll give them another outing ticket. I don't even mind, thanks to the mod Green Ethan found, I don't even mind doing outing tickets on screen anymore. It's less tedious now that me and Green Ethan have the overpowered mod for our emulators. Yep, I can relate when I play like Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon. So much trash. Ugh. But yeah, Green Ethan, I know you commented on the video, but yeah, I decided to just release, episode 9 without premiering it, because episode 8, I tried to premiere it for Purple Ethan and Ashton, but it didn't work out too well, because, Purple Ethan, he came for a little bit, or at least chatted for a little bit, but yeah. The thing is, some people may not always know what to say, so they may kind of just watch it without saying anything, and, plus his mom sometimes gets on his ass, and, like, Ashton's mom will sometimes get on his ass, so, yeah, it's hard to really plan things with those two. So, yeah, I tried premiering episode 8, and I decided to just release episode 9 without premiering it. Now this is episode 10. I'm not. I'm not sure. I'm probably just gonna put this as unlisted for now and see what happens. If we can do a premiere in the next few days or so, then I'll just premiere it. But if I go I go like, a lot more longer without being able to premiere this, then I'll just go ahead and release it, or publicize it regularly. But yeah, I think my best course of action would be to just put it as unlisted for now and see. And go from there and see what happens within the next few days or so. The good news is, Green Ethan's actually doing a premiere tonight. So, yeah. I have a little less than an hour. Then a little less than an hour. Or maybe right around an hour, but around, give or take, around that time too. And I wanted to use this last bit of time to do this, to do another episode because it's been a couple of weeks. You know, I was in kind of a shitty mood last episode. I was in a really good mood. You know, the episode before that, you know, episode 8, you know, I was in a shitty mood during episode 9. And, you know, for this episode, you know, I'm in a pretty good mood. I'm not, like, as ecstatic and pumped up as I was on episode 8, because, you know, that was a really, really good day for me. In fact, I think I may actually briefly talk about it again in this episode, because I do have an update regarding that. But yeah. Point is, it's been a couple of weeks, and I kind of wanted to just give you guys some updates on what's been going on. So, and like I said, Green Ethan's about to do a premiere, because, you know, he hasn't been able to do premieres for a few weeks because, you know, because of, like, summer camp and just, you know, family stuff possibly going on. So, yeah. But he's back for a premiere tonight, and I'm really happy about that. Now, I can't promise that I'm going to be able to do a premiere tonight because, number one, he might still be busy. Well, maybe not, you know, busy at the, like, tonight, busy, like, at the moment, but, you know, but he may have to go to bed early. So, yeah. I'm just gonna put this as unlisted for now and see what happened, you know, just play it by ear. Alright. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, well, I think it was last week, yeah. Yeah, last week on Wednesday. You know, I think I talked about this in my Scooperia video, but, you know, I'll talk about it again here. It's just easier to talk to you guys when I'm playing Miitopia, you know. The Papa Lily games can get a bit chaotic, especially Papa's Scooperia, you know. Miitopia, despite it being like a fighting game, is actually a lot more relaxed, to be honest. Therefore, it's easier for me to just really talk to you guys about stuff. But, you know what, I'm not gonna waste the sharpened claws. These enemies, yeah, see, he's pretty powerful already, and the enemies are pretty weak, so we'll save it for more powerful enemies. Plus, sometimes they do sharp, like AI, like they, like a lot of times, like when you have like an auto, like, you know, an auto battle cat, like sometimes they'll sharpen their claws, but the battle ends before they're even able to use that attack, and then it's just like, well, that was a waste of time. But yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday was, this past Wednesday, I believe was interesting. Okay, I have a good one for purple, Ethan. Okay, different colored heart. Okay, I have context. Ugh, I can't speak. Context for this, but basically what happened was back in Christmas of 2022, me and Ashton decided to impersonate each other to try to trick Green Ethan. And I fucked up, I accidentally reacted with a pink heart because, that's what I'm used to. Because, we use heart colors to react, to our favorite, our favorite colors. We use hearts to react, ugh. I can't speak, but yeah. But we use our favorite colors as hearts to, react to messages on Discord to let them know that we were, because we don't always have stuff to say. And sometimes we just want to give a nice little reaction, even if we do, so we use our corresponding favorite colors. For example, for me that would be pink. For Ethan, he would react with, purple Ethan, he would react with purple hearts. Ashton would react with light blue hearts, and, if you were there, you would use green hearts, green Ethan. But, when me and Ashton were impersonating each other to trick purple Ethan, I accidentally reacted with a pink heart because that's what I was used to. But since I was impersonating Ashton, I was supposed to use a blue heart, but, purple Ethan got suspicious. Then I tried to, dodge a bullet by being like, look, it's just a freaking heart color. It's not that deep. So yeah. He freaked out about that. He thought it was strange just because we reacted with, or, a different color. A different colored heart was, reacted with. So that's the context. But yeah, one part about Wednesday that stressed me out, which pertains to the previous episode, but my dad was, talking to my brother about Curtis, how he came over back in late June. And then, he was suggesting suggesting my brother to tell his other friends about it. And, try to encourage them to come over. And then, I was, sitting there and, I was getting uncomfortable with the conversation. So I was like, ugh. I mean, I didn't make the noise, but I made, a face. Luckily, my dad didn't get mad. He just got a bit confused. He thought something was wrong with my drink. But yeah, that was the main thing that stressed me out about Wednesday. But, something kind of good happened on Wednesday. Because, we were with my grandparents, and you know how they are about, religion and praying before they eat, I tried to secretly, I mean, not like, explicitly, but like I tried to like subtly get out of it because, I don't mind other people, doing it. It's their business, but being forced to do that, makes me extremely uncomfortable. So so, and then like, she tries to make us all hold hands, and, it's very awkward for me considering how I can be with physical contact sometimes, and, how and considering, I'm an atheist, so, I was grabbing her hand, like, and, like, awkwardly, but, luckily she was understanding and said I didn't have to hold her hand, so, W moment. Alright. Yeah. Oh, or Kia, yeah, because, the second teammate, the third teammate doesn't come till later, and then we have Purple Ethan, so. Yep. Orchia's main job is a flower, because she is a flower fairy. Yeah. Plus, my main job was a flower for a while, It's not bad, it's just a bit underpowered in my opinion. The princess job is more powerful. And I love the freaking pink rose dress, so it's my main job nowadays. But the flower job is still, like, pretty decent, I just don't like it. Like, if they're gonna be on freaking auto battle, since I can control my teammates, the flower job will work out a lot better. But yeah, that's some stuff that happened Wednesday. Oh yeah, and like, Nana and Pops were planning on going to New Mexico, like, by themselves, and we've been planning on going as a family, but the good news is, is, like, we won't be going for a while, because they got a really bad rainstorm, I believe, out there, so, that's one less thing to worry about, or two less things to worry about, technically. Because, we all know the reason why I don't really like it when my grandparents travel. Now, if they're just going to Abilene for like a day or two, like, Sunday through Tuesday, it's not as big of a deal, but if they're going to be gone for like a week or 2 weeks or even 3 weeks or more, that's when the dog situation really gets stressful. But I will admit it's not as bad if it's just for like a night or two, so yeah, but they were planning on going to New Mexico for a while, and then we were planning on going, like, we were planning on going as a family, so I'm happy I don't have to worry about that. I mean, New Mexico, it's only a few hours away, so it wouldn't be too overwhelming of a vacation. But, it's still nice to have one less vacation to worry about. Because, I'm a homebody. Like I said, in one of my Miitopia episodes, I dedicated a... Wait, what did I... Oh, okay, good. I think I chose the fishing. I got scared for a minute. I thought I accidentally chose the cafe ticket without thinking. And, you know, Green Ethan, you're aware, but like for anyone else watching this, you know, I'm playing this on an emulator so I can record these. I can use mods and I can record this conveniently. But the cinema and the cafe tickets don't work, so. Yeah, if you try to use them, you know, from what Green Ethan told me, the game will just crash, so I have to be careful not to use those. Alright, this sounds. Good enough. Alright, 2 outing tickets, not bad. Once I get my. Once we get, you know, the main teammates, you know, all the, you know, all 10 teammates together in the end, you know, I'm definitely gonna be building like more friendships between certain Miis, because it'll help with the darkest, you know, the darkest lord, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I have quite a few outing tickets, but first of all, most of them are, you know, cinema and cafe. Like 15 cafe ones. Are you serious? And then 9 cinema ones. Like most of them are freaking cinema and cafe. Alright, I'm gonna save the horsing around outing ticket for Mikhail. He needs it most. So he can unlock horse whispering, and he's gonna be a main teammate. But yeah, it seems like I have a lot already, but like I said, most of them is like, you know, cinema and cafe. And second of all, you know, I'm gonna be building like lots of friendships between certain Miis, so yeah. Oh, okay. Gold Snurp. Gonna defeat him. I don't really use the Princess Horse Whispering very much, because, you know, I mostly tend to focus on actual attacks, and, you know, some of the horse whispering stuff is for certain jobs is not, you know, offense or offense based, but wait, for like when in terms of attacking, would it be called offense or offense? Probably offense. I don't know. Because defense, offense, defense, offense, like, you know, defense goes, goes with fighting, you know. Defense, offense goes with fighting, but yeah, I don't even know what I'm confused. So, yeah, defense goes with fighting. Defense is like, you know, football and stuff. But I guess I don't know. Maybe it can. They can. The two terms can be used interchangeably because I've noticed an overlap. So with the pronunciations, huh? Because they're pretty much the same terms, or the same words, just pronounced slightly different. Offense, offense, defense, defense. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. And oh boy. I went to the bank with my dad, this past Monday. Yeah. Technically it was yesterday because, that I believe that was Monday and, it's still Tuesday, so. Yeah. Because, we're getting. I may have mentioned this, but we're getting work done in our back patio. We're gonna change it into like a second living room / sunroom. I mentioned a little bit, like I said, I mentioned a little bit about it, and I think my Scooperia video I released a couple of days ago, but yeah, my grandparents are helping out with that because, financial wise, as like a thank you for all the times that they've had to like bring the dog over here. But yeah, my dad had to. I'll probably talk more and more about that as it comes into fruition, but hold on, hold on. Okay. Okay, good. Money. Money, 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 money. 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 Not today. Not today. I'm just happy I didn't get the stupid gray one. Alright. I'm saving that for Mikhail because, it will help with his attack. Because, he's a warrior, so that will be good for him. That's why I'm not going to use the random button right now, because it could give the chicken, the royal roast too. one of those three, and I want to save it for Mikhail, so yeah. But yeah, you know how my dad is. He was bringing up Virginia again. Ugh. You know, my dad talks about how he doesn't really like to travel. You know, he talks about how he likes to keep the driving to a minimum. He talks about how he's a homebody, but no, I don't think that's true, because he also goes on about how he wants to go to California, how much he wants to go to Virginia. My grandparents were convincing him to take probably me, unfortunately, and my brother up north as well. And, you know, I ranted about it. Like I said, like, I think it was in episode 5. I could be mistaken. Episode 4 or episode 5, I believe. I don't remember, but I think it was one of them. But yep, I spent the vast majority of the video like going on a tangent about how much I hate, like, really, far out the vacations. If I'm just traveling a few hours to, New Mexico, like to New Mexico, or to Houston or to Corpus, it's not as big of a deal. In fact, I actually like going out to Houston. It's nothing new to me. I love going out there and seeing my grandparents on my mom's side. But my dad really wants to go out to California, and he really wants to go out to Virginia. And then, like I said, my grandparents on his side, the ones who, live in the same town as us, they're trying to not house, but town. They're trying to convince him to plan some vacations, and it's just like, no. If it's just him or him and my brother, then fine, but keep me the fuck out of it, please. Alright. Okay, good. I was worried she was going to try to spare it. Because I don't have any, like, attacks yet. Except for the basic attack. I forgot what it was called. I think Hurricane was the more powerful one that, targets all enemies, but the one you unlock early on, I forgot what it was called. Yeah. I know, he's barely hanging on, but I don't want to risk it with the stupid spares, so let's just use our fan. We need the money. That's another good thing about being able to control all your teammates, It's easier to prevent unwanted spares. Now, don't get me wrong, the spare quirk can be helpful and cute and heartwarming, but sometimes, it activates and, succeeds at the worst times. Like, for example, like when you're trying to get money. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go! Where am I supposed to go? Where? Oh yeah, fucking quiz bitch. I have to get him out of the way, huh? Fuck you, quiz bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, not today. No, not today. Not today. Not today. There we go. But yeah. My dad brought up Virginia, you know. I don't know, but like, and it's not just him, like, you know, a lot of people are like this. In fact, I think everyone is like this to some extent. Like, that some people just, you know, are very forceful and less considerate about it. But, like, you know, he has, you know, he has, like, a best friend out in Virginia. And, you know, they used, you know, and his best friend and I believe his wife used to watch me when I was like a baby, but, and, you know, this isn't, you know, this, I have nothing personal, like, against them, don't worry, you know, I've met them before, you know, we've even kind of interacted a little bit, you know, before on Facebook, like, you know, I don't use Facebook anymore, but it just gets overwhelming trying to, you know, keep track of everyone. So, you know, I mean, I use Facebook, but not for keeping in touch, you know. I use it to play Criminal Case, because, you know, you gotta have, like, Green Ethan, as you know, Criminal Case can get tedious when it comes to energy. So, you know, but having a Facebook account can, like, allow you to accumulate energy over time. Even then, it takes time, but, you know, it makes it a lot easier. Otherwise, it's a lot harder to, like, accumulate energy. So, that's the main reason I use Facebook, is just, like, mainly for Criminal Case and, like, just for, like, you know, it makes playing certain games, you know, easier, and then, like, you know, it enhances, you know, you know what, I don't know if I've showed this off already, but why not? I'll do it again just in case. We'll show off the cat whispering. Cat whispering. Cat horse whispering. Or the horse whispering cat. Ugh. I'm sorry. I can't really speak today for some reason, but yeah. It targets one enemy. Okay. I don't know why, but I figured it would, like, target all of them. But yeah, my point is, like, obviously I have nothing against, like, my dad's friends and whatnot. Like, it's not a personal thing against them. I just fucking hate traveling half-assed across the country, just because, like, you know, he knows them more, you know. And even then, I don't know if it would be, like, even if I knew them, like, a lot better, I don't know. I just don't, like, ugh. I just cannot stand traveling, like, really, 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 really long. Okay, I probably should have just used my freaking Royal Wave, but at least she didn't pull any sparing crap. But yeah, my dad thinks that just because he likes to travel, like, he think, like, he think like, well, he says he doesn't, but then him and I get into little arguments about me not liking to travel. He's very flip floppy when it comes to traveling. He'll be like, yeah, I'm a homebody. I prefer to just stay in the house, but then he'll go on to talk about, oh, I want to take you guys to California. I want to take you guys to Virginia. I want to take you guys here and there and over there and over there and everywhere and blah, 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 blah. And it's just so confusing. And then like we got into a little squabble. Not like a big heated argument, but you know what I mean, like just a kind of a little squabble about me not, because you know he brought up, like I said, he brought up Virginia, and he thinks I should want to go, and he even said it. He even told me, you should want to go. You were born there. I want to take you to your freaking. I want to take you to where you were born. I want to show you your birthplace, and it's just, and then I'm just like, no, I don't care about that. Some people just don't care about that. And I tried to tell him, you know, there's like, you know, there's pictures, there's, you know, there are other ways to show people like places. And then like I tried explaining that to him, but he was just like, it's not the same. So yeah, he just like, he thinks just because he thinks I should want to go, like he should try to like be like, you know, it sounds thrilling to him, but he needs to like try to put, you know, put himself in my shoes. He needs to and you know, or just anyone like in general who dislikes vacations, he needs to try to put himself in our shoes and tries to, you know, and tries to like, you know, think about why some people just do not like vacations. And I've tried explaining to him. Even Purple Ethan was like, have you tried talking to him about all this? And it's like, oh, please, I have, but he just does not get it. Like, and the thing is, he like, I mean, he knows why I don't like taking vacations. He knows I don't like to travel, you know, be in the car that long for like really long periods of time. He knows I don't really like staying in hotels, but he like, it's like he knows the reason. Like you know, he stated them himself. He knows the reasons. He just doesn't understand why I don't like that stuff. Ugh. Oh my god. And what's silly is I actually used to love taking vacations. Well, at least going over to Houston. I still do, but I mean, Houston's one of the places I don't mind going because I freaking love going. At least my grandparents' house on my mom's side. At least that's a comfort zone for me. But even outside of Houston, I used to not mind taking vacations, but I just grew I've just grown more and more out of it as I've gotten older. I don't like to be out of my comfort zone. I don't like to have to share a room with people. I don't like to have to pack and unpack. I just don't like dealing with that shit. I just want to be where I am comfortable. you know. But yeah, I just don't understand why my dad is so insensitive. It's one of the reasons why I'm worried about the future in a way. I'm worried that there will be a time where he's gonna force me to go on a vacation and then I'm just gonna be miserable and stressed the fuck out. And he also told me that I'm gonna live a miserable life or something like along those lines. There's people out there who don't take vacations but still live good lives. It's not like I don't want to do anything. Like, I just prefer to, keep it to day trips. With that being said, I mean, I'm sorry if this sounds a bit double standardish or a bit hypocritical, but I will admit that I am open to trying going on a vacation with friends. Because, number one, I feel like it would be more fun. Because even with family, you have to stick to a schedule. You may want to do stuff, but they don't want to do stuff, and vice versa. But with friends, on the other hand, I feel like they would understand you more. So. So it's easier to do. I feel like sometimes it's just the way it is. Sometimes your friends are just more understanding, more respectful, and more catering to what what you want to do than your own family. That's just how it is for some people. So even though I am I'm still very skeptical because there's still the issue of sitting in a car, having to go to the bathroom. But there isn't one for a while. There's still some issues, but the vacation itself would probably be a lot more fun. But even like I said, even then, vacations in general, I'm skeptical, and me and Ashton feel the same way. He used to like vacations too, but he grew out of them. Part of the reason was because of family stress. That's the reason why I don't like taking vacations, is because sometimes your parents or even a sibling will get on your ass, which has happened to me. So yeah, I just don't like it. Some people just aren't cut out for vacations. Okay. Like some people just do not understand that. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm honestly not really. I'm not really a huge fan of some of the flower outfits, to be honest. I like the goddess, I like a couple of them, but some of them just look really weird. For example, I do love the goddess outfit. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I think it's called the goddess flower. It's gorgeous. But a lot of them are just weird looking. But yeah, I do worry. I do genuinely worry that I will eventually be forced on like a vacation. Like a major vacation. I don't, like I said, I don't mind compromising. I don't mind going on I obviously don't mind going to Houston or even to Corpus or like a vacation that's just a couple hours away. I don't mind like doing that. But if you're trying to drag me half-ass across the country, forget about it. And I'm worried that I will be forced on a vacation to that extent. It's one of the reasons why I really want to get my own place later on down the road, because it'll be easier to avoid that bullshit. I know the two Ethans and Eli like vacations, and that's fine. I respect their opinions, but me and Ashton, yeah, we've just grown more and more out of them as we got older. But yeah, that's like I said. I'm hoping that if I do eventually get my own place, because I should be able to avoid that stuff. It's fucked up enough to force someone on like a really overwhelmingly long vacation, even when that person is still living with you. But it's even more so fucked up if and harder to do so anyway to when they have their own place. Plus, you know how a lot of these parents are. As long as you live under this roof, I do not give a shit about your feelings. And that's like when you use that excuse, you're not gonna make your children like want to like obey you or respect you. You're just gonna make them resent you even more, and it's gonna make them want to like get the fuck out. So, huh. Mm-hmm. Not bad, not bad. But yeah. Mm-hmm. And I just have different. I'm just wired, Me and Ashton have talked about this, but sometimes we feel like the black sheep in our families. I feel the same way in my own family. And that's pretty much the main reason why I want to eventually, why hopefully I'll be able to get my own place. I want to get my own place while my dad is still alive. I mean, I'm not trying to sound morbid, but I'm just saying it's gonna. Oh my god, I fucking hate. Why can't you just choose to opt out of that? Like, why? Like, let us choose if we want to. Pull those damn levers. It pisses me off. But yeah, that is one of the most annoying events in the game. If I had to choose Quiz Bitch or those trap levers that you can't avoid, I would honestly choose Quiz Bitch. As annoying as he is, at least he doesn't fuck over your HP. He can just be a bit frustrating at times with his quizzes. Sometimes his quizzes can be easy, but there are times where they can be a bit frustrating. But yeah, I do hope I can get my own place when my dad is still alive. That way, we him and I and my brother can or at least him and I can both experience what it's like to. I don't mean this in a rude way. I'm not saying we're gonna cut out each other out of our lives, but we can both understand what it's like to not have to deal with each other's clashing and stuff. Despite being younger, I have a feeling my brother will probably get his own place first. And I'm really looking. And yeah, a part of me it's not gonna be the same. I will admit a part of it is gonna, not feel the same. Maybe even a bit boring, but I will also be a lot more relaxed as well, because he wants to get with his obnoxious friends. He wants to get a dog, and I just want to be in my own little comfort zone and do my own thing. And with him gone, I won't have to worry about my brother anymore. With him in his own place. So yeah. But yeah, I'm running low on time, so one last thing I want to bring up was I do have an update on the ID situation. Green Ethan, I don't know if you've heard it yet, but I went back to the DPS on. Wait, you're supposed to drink it automatically? Oh, I guess this it smells kind of funny is the exception. Yeah, let's not risk it. You see, at least, the drinking game has standards. You can choose to. Even like sometimes like with like an airheaded sim, like, not sim. I'm thinking the Sims 3, but an airheaded Mia, you can sometimes, choose to avoid it if like the drink smells funny. Same with like energetic, but yeah, I went back to the DPS on June 24th, and they actually accepted our documentations. Because, I did the signatures, and, I took my thumbprints, and then, like, I got my picture taken. And, yeah, I was in a good mood that day. That was when I did episode 8 of Miitopia. And I was in a really good mood, because, I was happy to finally get that done. So, yeah, we waited and waited, over 2 weeks to get like, my ID and my dad's license, because he also had to get his license renewed. And, we were getting a little antsy because, we were getting past the 2-week mark and we still weren't getting it. But my dad took out like a piece of paper from like the glove box. And, he said, like, because when we went to the DPS, like, my dad didn't even remember or hear, but I actually remember them saying that it'll take 2 weeks. So, as the 2-week mark was approaching, I was starting to get more and more antsy. Because, even if I don't, like, need my ID, like, right this moment, number one, once I do get it, we can start getting my other stuff done, such as my getting my social security card, getting my bank account, all that good stuff. And second of all, it'll be nice to like know that no mishap happened, like they didn't like review everything, or it didn't get like lost in the mail, or it would like make me feel a lot better, and I won't have to worry about that anymore. But yeah, my dad took out a piece of paper from like I said, the glove box. This was Monday when we went to the bank account, and he was bringing up Virginia, and on there it actually said that it'll take 30 to 45 days. So yeah, on one hand, I am like it gave me mixed feelings, because on one hand I was frustrated that it will take longer, but on the other hand, it made me feel a little bit better too, in a way. Knowing that it can take a while to get to like for your ID to come in the mail. It's given me more time to just kind of be patient and not have and not worry as much, because it could still take a couple of weeks or so. Oh my god. Okay, good. Yep, it's already it's only 12:29. I'm gonna be ending this off our next end stop. Oh my god. I hate those. I hate that event with a burning passion. I wish you could avoid it. But yeah. At least we didn't have another battle. You know, it got recovered, but yeah. So yeah, that's why my dad and I haven't gotten our ID and driver's license yet. Because the thing is, Texas is huge, so it's gonna, population wise, it comes behind only California, in terms of, population, so it could take a while for these things to come in, so I'm just gonna try to be patient for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's 12:30, so I gotta end this, guys. I will see you guys later. Bye.